What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Wake and Bake Wednesday, episode 47. Back like we never left.
Like we never left.
And going in on a dab, because that's what we do.
He goes in on a dab. We got 7 questions lined up right here. I got to join us some kush. Let's get right to it.
These questions came from the discussion page on our YouTube channel. If you guys want to leave questions for the next episode, put them in there.
Yep, go see that. As for number 1, the user J. Paul asks, how would someone go about getting a job in the cannabis industry?
This question, out of the 40-something questions, was asked in various ways about 5 times.
Yeah.
So that's why I put it first.
It's a very common question, honestly. I feel like I've answered it a couple times before. No problem, though. You know, I feel like there's a lot of scams out there these days. I don't want to say scams, because that might hurt some people's feelings. There are actually some good teachers, some good schools out there that I would recommend, but most of them are just trying to scam you. If you really want to get in the industry, study it yourself online, move out to Cali, you know, come get the first-hand experience. That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I feel like I remember some of the other variations of the questions, or I mean, like you're saying, this is a question that we get all the time on a lot of different videos. People usually say, hey man, if somebody wanted to get into the weed industry, what's the best way to go about it? I see there's all these schools out there now, obviously.
Yeah, but like people like Amsterdam and stuff, man. Like,
they were the first ones. Are they even still around?
I don't know, but I mean, yeah.
I've always felt like, me personally, that was a little bit of a ripoff. If you're the type of person who knows how to use a computer, is good with the internet.
Let's be real, Amsterdam was whack. If we're some real ones, you know, that was a scam. Yeah. But I mean, they taught you the basics, but they didn't teach you how to grow no fucking fire.
I mean, the best way to just get your foot in the door in this industry and to start learning things, I would say, is bud tending.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to grow? Do you want to bud tend? Do you want to make concentrates? Do you want to make distillate? Do you want to, you know, there's like so many avenues now. So it depends on what you want to do.
I feel like if you're trying to just get in this industry and maybe figure out what you want to do, I feel like just bud tending is the greatest place to start, because you don't need that much experience or knowledge to start. You know what I'm saying? You can be trained up on,
all the
say
products.
The specific shop carries 20 different strains and, you know, edibles, concentrates, topicals, that kind of thing. If you're reasonably intelligent, you can be trained on those things in a week. It's just mainly the experience that you get from that, and learning to see like what people like, what people don't like, what customer buying habits are, what people buy repeatedly, what the difference is between all these strains and shit.
And just what each product even is, you know, like all the edibles, all the concentrates. You get the full spectrum of the industry, because you're literally selling it to the end consumer. I would say start bud tending. That's a pretty good way to sum that one up. Why don't you go in on number 2?
All right, moving on here. Derek Finley wants to know, what do you guys prefer, wake and bake or smoking before bed?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I like them both.
I love them both. If it was like the last day on earth and I had one bowl and I could either smoke it upon waking up or going to bed, I would have to say going to bed. Or no, I would say waking up.
Yeah, if it's the last day on earth.
Then you go to bed and you're dead.
Who gives a shit about going to bed?
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends. Like, it depends on the person, depends on your mood, it depends on a lot of different things. Like, when I was younger, I had really bad insomnia.
Right.
I loved being able to smoke weed
and sleep
before I went to bed, because it would kind of take that edge off and I would just be able to sleep better.
Especially perp.
Especially some good grapes, some good indica, some good dark perp, you know what I'm saying? Some GDP, some Urkel, some grape base, something like that.
Purple Caddy. Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, I would give this back to you, but you're about to go in on a dab.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, like if I were to wake up and then, like, if it wasn't the last day on earth, I would say go before bed over waking up, to me.
For me, I would go with the wake and bake, because I always love the coming up part of it and the creativity that I get, like that little spark. Like all the colors just seem a little bit brighter. Everything seems a little bit crispier. I seem to be in a little bit better mood. Things kind of just, you know, bounce right off of you. Whereas sometimes if you wake up, you're in a hurry, you got a stressful day, you don't have time to wake and bake, things can get a little stressful.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you just said.
To each their own. To be honest, we're usually doing both.
We do both every day.
Moving on here, Kyle H wants to know, have you guys ever tried any psychedelics?
Oh,
If so, what did you take away from your experiences?
we sure have. As far as psychedelics go, though, woo, yeah, we've tried them. Ooh, we've done shrooms, acid. He's done acid, I haven't. I've done shrooms and had a pretty crazy trip my last trip, so I decided to give him a break for a little bit. I'll just leave it at that.
To be honest, I feel like we started doing that stuff younger than we probably should have. Younger than I wish I would have.
Yeah.
I think the first time I did a hallucinogen, I was
16?
15 or 16. Probably 16. I think the first time it was mushrooms. They weren't that strong the first time. They were just strong enough for me to kind of see, you know, the little rainbow hues around all the lights and stuff. But there were no it was just super light visuals. There was no actual hallucinating things that weren't there going to that next realm.
Yeah, so we kept taking more and more.
Yeah, and I think
next thing you know,
after a while, it was just like a thing we started doing on the weekend, like on Friday nights or whatever. We would do it.
Are we booming? Are we booming?
Yeah, this is when we were probably 16. Yeah, just did it for a while.
Eating
honestly.
shrooms and fucking drinking a half gallon of orange juice
for probably like 6 months, and all we'd ever see was those. You just, you know, it was basically took it to the same level every time, and then the next time, I don't remember if we got just like a different batch or we got some from a different dude, but the next time I took it was completely different. That's where I fully broke through and just saw
everything.
Things that blew my mind. Like that's when it was like
the
scary.
Matrix. I remember I saw the Matrix numbers. I was just like in the green Matrix numbers. It was like 3D.
At this point, we had probably taken them 15 times.
Yeah, but
and I had never seen anything close to that.
No, because
so it freaked me out.
We would take like 2 grams and like 3 grams, and then like 8, and then like we took 7 grams, and then next thing you know, my brain was like, I would come back. It's weird. It came in waves.
Yeah,
too.
the wave.
The wave thing fucked me up, dude. Because like 2 minutes would go by and it'll feel like an hour, and then it's like scares you. You know, you're like, oh no. Times like never. Like I'm never gonna.
I remember the first time.
I'm never gonna come down.
The first time I got that fucked up to where I saw like crazy visuals and shit. It was right around Christmas, and we were at your house. Remember?
Yeah.
And I was just like, all of a sudden, I just started bugging out, and I was like, dude, I gotta get up and move, and I was just like doing stuff, and I was like, bro, I gotta go take a shower. I gotta like get this off me. I remember I went in, I took a shower, I look out the bathroom window in the shower, and there's just like Christmas lights everywhere. So shit looked insane. I looked out the window, I was just like, no.
Oh no.
So then I get in the water, and that was like the worst idea. The water on my body felt fucking insane. It felt like I was just melting or something. So I did that for about 30 seconds, got out, and I remember.
He remembers.
Sorry. I remember going to put my shorts back on and looking down at my foot as I was doing it, and I had a cartoon foot that had like that, you know, in like a cartoon when they wanted to show you that something smelled bad, it would have like that green smoke coming off of it. That's what my fucking foot, I looked down, I had like a Johnny Bravo foot with fucking green cartoon dust coming off of it, and that's when I was just like, yeah, that's when I was like, this is bad. I thought I did something, and I was gonna be, the thought I couldn't get out of my head is, what if I'm stuck like this?
Meanwhile, I'm laying in bed like, what's wrong with Shane? I'm fucking tripping balls. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, you were tripping, I think, almost just about as much. Maybe not quite as much, but almost about as much. But you just stayed in your bed like a mummy the whole time. And I think that was probably good for you. If I would have done that, I think I would have had a better experience.
I don't like this, but it's okay, I guess.
After that, I waited a while to do them again. Like I say,
no, see, I didn't. I did them like the next weekend, and literally took way too much.
We are not condoning what we're talking about here, either, people.
I ran off naked into the woods. Somehow I got wet, like I crossed the river or something. I came back hella muddy. Passed out on my homie's trampoline in the front yard, butt naked.
I almost get like a light anxiety when I think about it.
Me too. My heart it starts running back in my brain. I'm like, oh no.
I hadn't really thought about that in a while.
Like I was blacked out because once I got really fucked up on shrooms, like my thing back then, my safety net was like, whoa, I'm way too fucked up. I'm just gonna get super drunk.
Yeah.
You know? So then I just start drinking like mad. Next thing you know, I'm shroomed and faded as fuck.
I feel like we've answered like the question of have we experimented with psychedelics before, but we never really talked about the experiences and how it affected us. The other part of his question, where he says, what did we take away from those experiences?
Oh man, I'll never take it back. I'm glad I got that out of the way, like, at a young age, and I didn't lose my mind, you know?
Yeah, I am, but I'm not. Sometimes I wish I would have waited until I was like, you know, more mature.
On to number 4, same guy, Kyle H. How different, this is like an extension of this question, I guess, the way you have it drawn here. How different do you think your life would be if you never smoked weed? That's a crazy question. So if we never smoked weed, I probably wouldn't be making music. I feel like weed is super creative.
I feel like it just makes me enjoy the creative kind of shit, the creative process more.
We obviously wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be on the internet.
Yeah, probably not.
Right?
Like, I definitely, editing videos is way funner when I'm a little bit baked. Writing, drawing, painting and shit,
Right.
like it just makes me want to do all those things that I feel like normally I probably just wouldn't do as much, at least. For some reason when I'm high, it just makes me creative. So I do agree with that. What other ways would our lives be different if we never smoked? I don't know. I'd have to say a lot different because our whole careers have basically revolved around weed in one way or another.
I would have probably tried to pursue sports a lot harder. I'm guessing if I didn't have weed to smoke. I kind of, in a way, resorted to weed instead of pain pills for football. I would like to say that I would have chased sports a lot more, but
I think you took it pretty seriously.
I took it as serious as I could. I mean, I was like never late, always on time, never missed a practice, fucking worked my dick off out there. Honestly, our lungs would probably be a little healthier, not gonna lie. I mean, we do smoke every single day.
I haven't really noticed like a...
But I mean, I also work out every fucking day and do hella cardio, so it's like, I feel like I counterbalance that. I can probably run 2-3 miles, no problem.
I feel like there's a lot of people that have really good lung capacity that smoke weed.
For sure.
I think smoking fucking backwoods and shit like that, I definitely can tell a difference when I'm smoking
Yeah.
a lot more backwoods in
The
social
blunt toxins,
settings or...
Yeah.
Because normally, you know, I prefer dabs and joints myself.
Number 5, Junweed. Is that how you say it?
Sure.
Junweed. How was the quality of the weed and concentrates you guys saw while you were in Barcelona? So I've went for the last 2 years, and I would say it's gotten substantially better each year. So the first year was like, it was cool. This year when we went, it was pretty good. You know?
I was impressed with a lot of the flowers that we saw out there. Especially, obviously, no matter where you go in the world, you're gonna find other stoners. You're gonna find other people like us, other people like you guys that just love this shit, you know? Mm-hmm. And we obviously met a few of those people out there that had almost as good of weed as I see here in the States, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was some really, really good weed.
We got that.
As far as the stuff I saw at the shops,
Right.
it was better than I was expecting, but not that top.
We got that grease monkey, right? Like as soon as we touched down.
Yeah, I think that was the best weed that we got in the shop.
Hey, that shit was fire, dude. That shit was like gassy, funky.
I'm just talking about the people that we smoked out there with. Had better weed than we saw at the shop.
For sure.
I was more impressed with the weed overall than I was with the concentrates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the concentrates could use a little work.
I mean, like, it's just funny because like you just looked at the entire culture out there as far as like the way people were dabbing, what they were dabbing, how it was being marketed, what kind of products the extract companies were making, the way it was all bought and sold, the kind of rigs people were using. Like, it reminded me exactly of when dabs started blowing up here like 8-10 years ago.
Yeah, they're just behind.
I'd say that, like, as far as the medicine goes, they're a couple years behind, but as far as the culture, their culture out there for dabbing is basically exactly the way it was here.
Yeah.
You know, about 7-8 years ago when
Straight
it was
up,
like
it's
super
cool.
underground.
I like it. I fuck with it actually. Alright, number 6. Teo Martin. How many grams do you guys feel is best when rolling a backwood? An eighth. I would say an eighth is perfect. That'll give you a nice cone with a crutch. It smokes great. Put an eighth in a wood because we don't like them skinny.
That's right. I feel like a backwood is best for a social setting when you got 3 or 4 people. That's what I do like a backwood for, is they burn nice and slow. It's nice to just pass around
Social
when you got a bunch
setting.
of people.
You hear that?
So you better put a fucking eighth in that.
Yeah.
Get into the last question here. Chris Shelley wants to know, when you guys look back at the CCC 420, is the amount of change amazing to you?
I don't know, amazing, but it's definitely weird and crazy.
A lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like it's weird as fuck to go back and look at videos of yourself from like 2010, 2011.
Yeah. I'm like, who is that guy?
At that time, you like thought you were an adult, and then you look back now, you're like,
I was
child. Just a little kid.
I'm still a child, probably.
Yeah, no, I still feel like a kid.
But I look back and I'm like, man, I look funny as fuck. Like, I don't look the same at all.
Yeah, your
my
voice
mannerisms, my voice was different. Everything was
tonsils.
Different. Everything was different.
It's just weird to go back and we watch videos every now and then, like old videos, and it'll remind me of a time in life that I barely even remember now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like without having those videos to go back and look at, I don't think I would remember as much about the last 10 years of my life or whatever, you know?
No.
It's crazy. It's a trip.
It is a trip.
We were watching like one of the first I think it was one of the first Wake and Bakes or something. It was just like me and you out on Toph's balcony in the apartment in Oakland before I lived there.
Yeah.
Just in this like weird time in our life. It's like, man,
weird,
it's just weird to go back and look at these videos, man.
Yeah.
I just remember when we started doing YouTube, there was nobody else doing it. Like, there was very few people doing videos on weed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm high.
February 14th, 2015 is when YouTube was created.
2000 what?
February 14th, 2005.
No, you said 2015.
February 14th, 2005 is when YouTube was created. That's a trip. Changed a lot since then. We're baked. Hope you're baked. It's Wednesday. We're Wake and Bake Wednesday.
We're Wednesdayed up. I hope you guys are waked. I hope you guys are baked.
I am.
I hope you guys are caked.
Shake it up and bake it up.
We'll be back next week.
I'm Danny Flavors.
I'm Shane O'Mac.
Goodbye.